On a two-lane county road outside Sparta, Tennessee, just after midnight, a driver's headlights catch a long, jet-black cat crossing the asphalt in two unhurried strides, heavier than any bobcat, tail nearly as long as its body. And it folds into the tree line before his brakes finish. An animal that, by everything wildlife science knows, is not supposed to exist in this state. If you have ever driven a dark country road and seen something your mind refused to file, you already know the feeling these witnesses describe. He came over a rise, the lights swept the ditch, and there it was, low to the ground, all shoulder and muscle, moving like it had nowhere to be. 2 strides, that was all it took. By the time the tires stopped, the road was empty, and the man was left staring at the dark line of trees, trying to convince himself of what he had just seen. Here is the part that should stop you. It is not one man. A farmer near Cookville watched something the color of coal move along his fence line at dusk. Same low body, same heavy tread. Not a house cat, not a dog. A hiker on the Cumberland Plateau reported the same shape sliding through the timber on a wooded ridge and never came back to the trail the same way. None of these people knew each other. They live in different counties. They saw it in different years. And yet, when you lay their accounts side by side, the descriptions barely change. Bigger than a bobcat, sleek, jet black, and always the same long heavy tail, trailing behind it like a rope. Hold that tail in your mind, the long heavy tail. It is the detail that breaks every easy explanation later. Because a bobcat has a stub, these witnesses insist on a tail nearly the length of the animal itself. That single detail refuses to fit the only cat that is supposed to be out there. So, the reports keep coming, county after county, decade after decade. But something is missing. There is no carcass, no confirmed specimen, no roadkill, no hunter's trophy, no camera trap frame that anyone can agree on. The sightings arrive, the bodies never do. Which leaves the one question wildlife officials keep quietly avoiding. What are these people actually seeing? Before we ask whether hundreds of people are wrong, we have to know what a black panther even is. And the answer is the first shock of this case. It is not a species at all, and none of the animals it could be belong within 1,000 miles of Tennessee. So, to explain what these witnesses saw, we have to explain an animal that should not be on this continent at all. And here is where the biology has to be honest with you. Melanism is real. A black leopard is not a legend and not a hoax. It is a normal leopard carrying a gene that floods its coat with dark pigment. Melanistic leopards and jaguars exist. They are photographed. They are held in collections. The rosettes are still there. You just have to catch the light to see them. But those cats live in the jungles of Africa, Asia, and Central and South America, not the Cumberland Plateau. Tennessee's wild cat list is short. There is the bobcat. And there is the cougar, which may be quietly recolonizing eastward. Confirmed animals turning up hundreds of miles from where they should be. That is the whole roster. Now the fact investigators keep circling back to, the one that sits at the center of this case like a stone. Melanism has never been documented in a cougar, not once. In the entire historical record, across thousands of shot, trapped, and photographed cougars, there is not a single confirmed black one. So, a black panther in Tennessee cannot simply be a dark cougar. That door is closed before we even open it. So let's try the ordinary answers, one at a time. Start with a large black house cat, made monstrous by distance and a jolt of adrenaline in the dark. Possible. At a glance, at 40 yards, a big tomcat can fool anyone, but not at this size. Witnesses describe shoulder muscle and a body longer than a bobcat. No feral cat gives you that. Next, a black phase bobcat. Rare, but bobcats do occur in darker coats. Except bobcats are stub-tailed. That little tail is the whole point of the name. And nearly every witness insists on a long, heavy tail sweeping behind the animal. Remember the tail. A bobcat cannot give you that tail. So every witness who saw it just eliminated the one black cat Tennessee could plausibly hold. Notice what is happening here. Every explanation we try to close, the evidence quietly reopens. Melanistic jaguars? They did once range north into the American Southwest, but that was centuries ago, and far to the west, in desert borderlands, nowhere near the Appalachian foothills. And escaped exotic pets? Plausible in a rare, isolated case. One animal, one owner, one bad fence. but not across dozens of counties over decades, described the same way every time. So one thing should exist by now: a body. Across the entire Southeast, thousands of reports over decades, and yet not one black panther carcass has ever been recovered in Tennessee. No roadkill, no hunter's trophy, no trail cam frame that survives scrutiny. That absence is the turn, and it cuts in two directions at once. And here is where the official record gets quiet. The Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency has looked at all of it: the calls, the reports, the decades of sworn accounts. And its position is plain. There is no evidence of a breeding population, no confirmed animal, nothing to manage, nothing to hunt, nothing to name. And many officials go one step further and simply decline to engage at all. Ask them on the record about black panthers, and the line goes flat. But not everyone laughs it off. Some biologists sit with the reports longer than they'd like to admit, because they know how this century has already surprised them. Cougars have recolonized eastward, quietly, county by county. Confirmed animals, real ones, photographed on trail cameras 1,000 miles from where they should be. A cat that was declared gone from the east keeps showing up in the east. If the map could be that wrong about a tan cat, these biologists ask, how sure are we about a black one? That's the trap this case closes around. Look at it one way, and every sighting is a mistake. A big house cat, a wet bobcat, a shadow stretched by adrenaline and headlights. But then explain the uniformity. Explain why strangers who never met, spread across dozens of counties, give you the same length of tail, the same shoulder, the same low, unhurried walk. Now, look at it the other way. Say, just one of them saw a real large black cat. Then explain the empty roadside at dawn. Explain why, after all these years, nothing has ever been recovered. Sit with that for a moment. Both answers fail, and the case survives on the failure of both. And the stakes are not small. One verified specimen, a single body, a single clean carcass on a lab table, would rewrite a piece of North American mammalogy. It would put melanism into a cat, where science says melanism has never been. That's how big the prize is, which is exactly why its total absence argues just as loudly the other way. A thing that important does not stay hidden forever, unless it was never there. So here is the honest answer to what these people are seeing. What we can confirm is real. Cats are shifting range, cougars are moving east, and melanism is documented in leopards and jaguars. What we cannot confirm, not once, not ever, is a single black panther anywhere in Tennessee. The reports keep coming, the bodies never do, and that gap between what hundreds of people swear they saw and what science can actually hold in its hand is where this case still lives, open, unexplained. The next time your headlights catch something low and black at the edge of a field, you will remember why no one can tell you for certain that it isn't there. Next, we follow another predator that turned up 1,000 miles from home.